G'day guys, Gordon here with Gardens of Freedom. Thanks for tuning in. Just outside today and I have no cards, so I'm going to play this one by ear. Let's hope my memory doesn't fail me and we get a good video out of this. Just chilling out here with the dogs, and I thought this is actually a perfect setting to talk about this topic that I want to get into, which I think is a very important topic as well, and I'm going to be doing a whole series on this, and that is human conditioning, programming, matrix programming, New World Order programming. And why I feel it's the perfect setting is I'm out in nature, and nature has its way. When you look at these dogs, they have their natural way. The birds, they have their natural way. Humans have our natural way also. You might call it nature's way, or the way of the source, God's way. But we have our natural way. And as with animals, like we do with our domestic animals, we can be trained and programmed to lose sight of that natural way. I feel this is such an important topic, and I'm going to share a bit of my story to explain where I arrive at my conclusions. Most of you guys know that I've been one of the fortunate ones to have been educated very early in my life about New World Order, and I'm going to backtrack, to 2020. So I was educated about the New World Order probably early 2000s, and I just spent the rest of my life like everyone else, getting on with things and trying to awaken people along the way. And I had my little recruitment company going in Melbourne, and all my dreams with that. But as soon as I heard the word COVID, I immediately knew this is it. They're going for the big one. All the New World Order, prophecies or plans, I knew that's it. They're going for it now. One world government, they're going for the big whammy. And it was a combination of my, intellect, rational thinking, logical deduction, monitoring things, and intuition. And I tried to lead my life on that basis, which I believe is the balance. It's using our all our tools. Anyway, in 2020, I called up my partner at the time, and I said to her, she had two of her own children, I said, grab the kids, we've got to get out of Melbourne. And my parents have a farm, the Sunshine Coast, Queensland, let's go up there. And she said, when? I said, tomorrow. This is before the first lockdown, and I think she thought I was a bit cuckoo. And I said, look, if I'm wrong, we drive up, we have a holiday, we go back. She said, I can't go tomorrow. I said, one more day then, and that's it, we're leaving. I'm leaving anyway. So she called me back and said, all right, let's go. Packed the car with the kids and as much stuff as she could get into her car, and I took my car and we took off. By the time we got up to the sunny coast, she didn't think I was that crazy, because I think things started sinking in, that things are going to be bad, particularly down in Melbourne. And that was just my instinct, my intuition said, get out of there. We don't want to be in Melbourne right now. Kids don't need to be into this. So yeah, we got up here, and my plan was to turn this place where I'm at now into a self-sufficient farm. And I'm going to share a dream I had with you guys, which changed my thinking a little bit. My thoughts and dreams, so as I said, I'm not very much of a woo-woo supernatural, superstitious kind of person. I have my superstitions, but my mum, I think, instilled a lot of the spiritual side, and I learnt to be somebody who chased balance in life. And I'm a very masculine driven person by nature, so very logical, very rational. Now my belief on dreams are, they could be one of two things. They could be simply your conscious thoughts and your feelings translated into your subconscious state, which is your dreams. Or they could be some kind of connect to source, to God, to nature, universe, whatever you want to call it. I'll share the dream with you guys. So basically I'm on a push bike with another fella. We're riding, traveling, and suddenly this guy stops and says, "Hey mate, they've spotted us." I turn around, I see an SUV, and they've stopped and they're looking at us, and we go, "Let's move." So we start pedaling. Now, I knew this person in the dream very well. Like, we were very close people, felt like in the dream, but I had no idea who they are in my real life. So anyway, we get to this top of the valley and we decide to ditch the bikes because it's grass, and we take off on foot. We go down this valley and we go up the hill out of the valley, and we end up at a house. And while we're in the house, there's about maybe suddenly another 12, 15 of us in the house. And I say, "Guys, grab what you can of value. We've got about 3 or 4 minutes and we've got to get the hell out of here." And as I'm doing that, I'm in the living room, I guess, and there's still no real recognition of exactly where I am at this point. I think it was after I woke up, I realized exactly where I was in the dream. But the house itself was abandoned for several years. Like, the walls were falling out, windows were smashed out, that kind of thing. And while I'm in the living room, the wall behind the living room is completely knocked out, so it's open air. And I look up and suddenly there's a guy standing there with a woman. And I guess the best way I could describe them was they looked like Vikings. Big, tall, blonde guy, massive guy, and a blonde woman. And we locked eyes. As soon as I locked eyes with him, he pulls out a crossbow, and I had one too, and I pulled mine out, and he hit me first in the shoulder, something like that. So he comes bolting down from the hill, and I normally can handle myself pretty well, so I squared up, ready to go. But I had no power, no strength, and couldn't do anything. So this guy grabs me around the neck and pins me down on the ground, on the floor. And it's one of those spine-tingling moments. He looks me straight in the eye and he says, "I'm on your side, mate, but you're not fucking ready." And I woke up. Oof. The feeling when I woke up was like, wow. It was a very powerful feeling when I woke up, and I thought a lot about that dream that day, and ever since then. Initially, by the way, the house was our house, and when I looked back at the dream, the valley was, if you see behind me here, behind these trees is a valley. It goes up to the neighbor's side and across to a main road. and that's our house in the back there. And that living room was our living room, abandoned. So initially I thought it means we need to prep. So I said to my partner, I said, look, we need to do more than what we're doing. We need to create some emergency plans, and I started putting a list of all the different things we needed to buy, including a four-wheel drive and you name it. When I look back at that dream though, now, I actually believe the dream was spiritually ready. And I've evolved a lot, I think, since 2020. 2020 has just changed everything for me. I left the old life behind, and a lot of my mentalities had to be left behind. So, spiritual readiness, and I believe there is, right now, we need to start looking at the difference between being aware and awake. So to me, aware means that you understand or you know there's some situation going on, a New World Order agenda. Awake means, to me, that you can see past that surface. It's a spiritual thing. And I immediately began doing work we do with Guardians of Freedom, simply because I couldn't see anything else like that out there. I saw a lot of protest groups, petition groups, and political groups, which I previously would have said are good avenues. But when you know what the New World Order is and how these people operate, I knew already immediately in 2020, this is not going to be able to work this time. So we did what we were doing, which was we created a very strong action plan, which I inherited. And we had plan A, plan B, plan C. Plan A is, let's stop it. Plan B is, okay, where do we go from there if we can't, which is community food and living cooperatives. And plan C is our emergency plans, which we won't get into now. They're all on our website, guardians-of-freedom.com. Now, original plan A was pretty full on. It was hands-on, required extreme levels of courage, okay, and it was 100% lawful though, 100% lawful. I won't get into it anymore because that is now, that's been terminated. We have our People's Vote of No Confidence campaign as our new plan A. So anyway, back to that. When we had this plan A going, and I had sat down with my dad and talked about things, and I'd come to a personal decision that my old life was gone and I wasn't worried about all those old things. And I decided that the risk of doing nothing outweighed the risk of doing something. A lot of people that were close to me were quite concerned, and when I would talk to them about plan A, stopping the New World Order, wow, that sounds crazy. And they would say, is that feasible? Is that actually feasible? And my response was, it's 100% feasible, but I don't think we're going to do it. When I say we, I mean humanity. It is 100% feasible. It was 100% feasible. And what's the main reason why I felt we were not going to do it? It's because we were under too much programming. As a species, as a people, the New World Order had programmed us for today. They had created exactly the mindset they wanted, exactly the culture. They cultured us for today. It was feasible. I believe at least 10% of the people were awake. That's 2.5 million in Australia. Feasible. And this is how simple things should have really been. We're all under threat. Let's unite. Let us sit down and have discussions on what works, what doesn't. No egos. just some logical, rational discussion, create an action plan, execute it. That's how simple it should have been. And the reason we didn't do it is because of the conditioning. And when I look forward to where we're going, and I often hear people say to me, nobody really knows how things are going to look. I haven't had any surprises from 2020 to where we are now, even with all the crazy division happening within the so-called freedom community. These are all things I talked about very early, that I was expecting all of these things to happen. Somehow, intuitively, I feel I know exactly where we're going and what 2030 is going to look like, and past 2030. And it doesn't really matter who's right and wrong, but I do what I do to try and keep as many of us alive, well, and safe into 2030 and beyond. Now, we're not going to make it, I can tell you that, if we can't drop that conditioning. Original Action Plan A was terminated. We had a very small window of opportunity, I believe, and that's a whole nother video on the life cycle of tyranny, how it goes on an upward trajectory. We had a small window. We still have our People's Vote of No Confidence campaign up there. So the New World Order programming, it's one of our main issues. It's one of our main problems. So I'm going to make this series of videos to cover each topic. Each one of these topics or isms. Stop. Sorry guys, my dog's on to something. No. Tail up. Leave it. Come to me. Good girl. Leave that. I don't do editing, unfortunately. So, a series of isms, and I'm going to ask everyone to look into themselves with some honesty, hard honesty. And I'm not coming out here with this video saying that I'm perfect. I'm continually evolving, but we need to be honest and take that integrity and the courage to do this, because humanity really is at stake here, as I outlaid in a previous video. So I'll give you guys an example. It's only a small example, but at some point in my life, music. I enjoy music. I enjoy classic rock, blues, reggae, but probably one of my favorites has always been hip hop and R&B and a bit of that gangster rap music. But even that I realized, and so when I looked at gangster rap or hip hop in general through a objective lens, I realized it was New World Order conditioning. Okay, the culture they created through that music, it all started as something else, maybe some social change type stuff, and then it turned into a culture of chasing women, chasing jewels, chasing bling, getting big fancy cars, big fancy houses, materialism, and over-sexualization of our society. And so I can be objective and honest enough to say that thing that I loved was New World Order programming. So some of the programming, we might feel very much attached to it. We might even feel it does us good, provides us benefit, it makes us feel good. We might feel that they are honorable ideals to look up to. But when you do your studying and where these isms and ideologies come from, I'm going to show you guys through this series of videos that a lot of these stem from the Illuminati or the New World Order. And we've got to take that strength and courage to self-reflect honestly. Because where we're going, I 100% know that if we don't shake the programming, we are not going to make it through, and we're not going to get that win as fast as we should. I know we will win, and it's up to us of how long we decide to take to come back to our human nature. And on that note, the human being is one of the strangest animals, because we're the only animal that prefers our conditioning over our human nature in many instances. And the human nature, it's actually so obvious. Our natural way of being is right there if we let go. And that's why I said this is a perfect backdrop out in nature. Nature has its way. We have our way. Stay there. Oi! Sophie, get here. She's ruining the end of my video. Leave that. Come here. Come to me. Good girl. Look at these two. Say goodbye. Alright guys. As I said, I'm not making this video to say I'm perfect, and I need to keep evolving, and we all will keep evolving, I believe. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about my spiritual beliefs around the human conditioning, around the New World Order programming, around good and evil, and my spiritual beliefs around that, which I don't expect everybody to share the same. That would be a cult. So look out for that next video, guys, and then we're going to dive into each topic one by one. Take care out there.